Woodabe tribe is a pastoralist nomadic group that lives in African Sahel region. They traverse the desert regions of Niger, Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and the Central African Republic on their migratory treks, which takes them across the entirety of Northern Africa with their families and cattle. They are a small isolated subset of the Fulani ethnic group, and neighboring tribes view them as uncivilized feral people who live in cattle camps or as Mbororo or Kati Fulani. Woodabe region is largely Islamic. Their major language is Fula, but they don't read or write the language. In Fula, Woodabe means people of the taboo, which refers to the numerous culture do's and don'ts that structures their daily lives. For example, the Woodabes never calls loved ones by their names, which must make locating them in a crowd quite difficult. It is considered a mark of respect not to be overly affectionate towards a loved one, and this includes the use of their first name. The Woodabes also have strict tabooed behaviors around hygiene, eating, and of course sex. The Woodabes of the Azawak rely on herding cattle for their survival. They live in small camps of only 1 or 2 families and relocate to find better pastures every 2 or 3 days. The route they established in Western Africa provided extensive links throughout the region that fostered economic and political ties between otherwise isolated ethnic groups. Dairy products produced from cattle were traded to sedentary farmers for agricultural products and luxury items. These items could then be traded to trans-Saharan traders such as the Tuareg for shipment to North. Fine woven cloth produced by the Woodabes was considered a luxury item that could be traded on the international market. The most important possession in Fulani society is cattle, about which these herders have made traditions and taboos. The number of cows a person owns is a sign of his wealth. The Woodabe is so knowledgeable about his cattle that he's said to cast spells with magic potions that will lure his cattle to follow him wherever he wants to go. They place great emphasis on beauty and charm, as this plays a vital role in their culture. When it comes to establishing relationship, the responsibility falls to the man, who is required to attract the attention of a woman. Because of this, men will invest large amount of time, money, and effort into beautifying themselves. Once a year, these nomads come together in a festival known as the Gerewol. It is the most important ceremony among the Woodabes, where men compete to be selected by young marriable women as the most beautiful. Before the festival begins, it takes the men 6 hours to prepare and get ready, so they can dance and show themselves off. They paint their faces with red clay, use eyeliners to make their eyes appear whiter, and wear a shade of lipstick that will make their teeth appear whiter. They also wear white ostrich feathers in their hair making them appear taller. They dance like male peacocks or birds of paradise, which exhibit their plumage to attract females. During the festival, 3 of the tribe's most beautiful women are chosen to judge as the men display through a dance moving in circles. When a judge picks a winner, they get more than a sash and a crown. They get to have sex with the judge, even if one or both parties are already married. The woman judging can also consent to being stolen away from her husband and remarried to one of the winners, but there is no pressure for a wife to leave her husband after she finds the fairest of the fair, and she may simply want to have sex with him that evening. The men dance endlessly at the festival, keeping to their ancient rhythms, which are repeated over and over. When it gets too hot, they take breaks, but on the last night, they will dance continuously until dawn. The dancers often drink a fermented bark concoction, which provides them with the energy they need to dance for long periods. This energy drink reputedly has a hallucinogenic effect. To participate in the Gerewol, the women must have menstruated before the festival. Effectively, when choices are made, the women know they are going to have sex with the chosen Woodabe male if the male accepts them. This may be a one-night affair or may last for longer, sometimes culminating in marriage. The Sudosukas and Japta were the 2 Woodabe groups present at this celebration. Both of them utilize razor blade and ash, which is massaged into the open wound to scarify their faces and bodies. The outcome is slightly elevated with Kilodia, black tattoo. The Gerewol festival is also a glowing test of endurance for the men who dance for hours in heat in the hopes of impressing a woman. According to Mette Bovin, who has been documenting the Woodabe since 1965, she wrote that a young Woodabe man's morning ritual involves checking and grooming his face in front of his little mirror before venturing outside to tend to his cows. Woodabe guys use a lot of black cosmetics around their eyes every day to make them look whiter and wider. Their long hair is teased into braids and beads that dangle down their backs, and they dress in jewelry and fragrant perfumes. Long, thick-haired men are viewed as particularly attractive. In Woodabe's culture, a guy who is considered exceptionally handsome is referred to as Kijo Nadu, which means hurting man, signifying that their beauty is so intense that it causes pain to gaze at them. In certain instances, the Woodabe male will permit their women to have intercourse with more attractive men in order for them to have more attractive offspring. If a husband is infertile, he may ask a fellow tribe man to impregnate his wife. Having a large family helps to counterbalance the high infant and child death rate, since children are considered a symbol of wealth and labor. However, the Woodabes remain the last nomadic tribe in this region. Estimate place their numbers at under 100. Their herds has been reduced by decades of drought, and their customary grazing plot are being turned into farms, which is forcing the Woodabes into increasingly marginal and small places. Though priceless, the Woodabe's traditional customs may not last for very long, much like the beauty that Gerewol honors.